Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the World of Brickfilms podcast. I'm your host, William of AW Studios. Joins me today is my co-host and good friend, Raphael of Blacksmith Films.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And today we don't have one, but two guests. We've got Greg and Garry Moore of TwickABrick.
Hey, how's it going? That was Greg talking. And this is Gary. Yeah. What's up? Yeah.
So, just like our previous guest, you've been animating since 2007, is that right?
Yeah.
Around
Yeah.
there.
I think I don't know, 2006, 2007. I don't really remember when we exactly got started, but 2007 is when we uploaded our first video on YouTube. So yeah.
Nice.
So how do you kind of come across brick filming? How did you know?
Well, I think it was mainly the Lego Star Wars movie making contest. Like that was in like the Lego magazine, and we were like, "Whoa, what's this?" And then we just, I don't know.
I think
go ahead.
we got into it before that. I think we found some videos on like that website BrickShelf, like some stop motion stuff. We're like, "Well, that's so cool! Like we should try that ourselves." And I think I don't know where we found it about brickfilms.com. We found that eventually and started like watching a bunch of the videos in the directory. But yeah, I remember finding like Buxton or Old Scratch or whatever his videos and watching it, like a lot of those. But yeah, I'm not sure what the first video we saw was. But yeah,
Buxton and Old Scratch, or like Oblong, or Chris
Oblong.
Salt.
Yeah. That guy, Chris
all
Salt.
his names. He has like 4 different names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of Time, stuff like that.
His stuff is pretty good. Yeah. Out of Time. Yeah.
I think last week you guys were talking about what's it called, the Spite Your Face stuff.
Yeah.
I think we watched those at some point too. I don't know if that was before we found brickfilms.com or after, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Han Solo Affair, and I remember the Spider-Man one a lot. The Parallel Doc Ock, those were all really cool. And I think I don't know, because we had been making stuff with like just like a regular camera, like just not a webcam. It wasn't attached to our computer. We were just taking pictures of Legos and like, I don't know, just animating blind kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've switched over to the Logitech for the contest, and like I remember we bought the Logitech QuickCam Pro 4000 for the like Lego Star Wars movie making contest, and then I think after that we like went on Brickfilms. I mean, I don't know, I think we'd already been on Brickfilms when the contest was going.
Yeah, but
then like we started getting like people would tell us how to fix our settings and how to just make everything better, and yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, we made a video for the Lego Star Wars movie making contest, and that was like our first like real video. The first one we were kind of trying to like make it have sound effects and voices and stuff like that, because all of our videos before that were just like silent films with like at like a really low frame rate and just with like music over them. So
that's how we all started.
We actually got our friend to edit that video for us, and he knew about like video editing. So that video was actually like a lot better than like probably our next video that we made. We made in just like Windows Movie Maker. So that video had like some good sound effects and good, like, I don't know, it was good, I think, because our friend helped us edit it. But yeah.
Cool.
So I think one of the things I really admire about your work is your use of practical effects. And there's some like really creative stuff, especially in the front, like the use of the gunshots, and I think I talked about it briefly in the previous episode about the using bricks for like the actual gunshot like explosion and that kind of stuff. I find that really interesting. So do you try as using as many practical effects as you can in your projects?
Yes.
Yeah. I think there was somewhere along the way when I was just like, I don't want to. I think so we made that video Kensington like a while ago, and we did a lot of we tried a lot of like green screening and like CGI stuff kind of, and we like, it was cool because we worked with like people from Bricks in Motion or from Brickfilms back then. But and like they helped us out doing all that stuff, but all of it we weren't really super happy with like how we ended up making it. Like it looked kind of it all looked kind of fake, and the green screening especially was really bad, I thought. Like, I mean, because we didn't really shoot it right for green screening. We didn't light it well enough, and so eventually we just like, we're kind of like, I think I was like, I want to make stuff that is just like in camera or whatever. And then I think I don't know, a while later, that video, The Taste of Victory, is where we really started doing like everything in camera. Like we tried doing like, you know,
explosions
like
and
explosions and like bullet shells flying out of a gun with just in camera. And I mean, we use like masking, of course, but masking is like, I don't even consider masking like an effect. It's just, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and we just, I don't know why like I got into that. I don't know if it was like, because people always talk about how like, you know, CGI is not as good as practical effects in like live action movies, but I don't know if that's why I got into just making stuff practical. But yeah, I still kind of have that today where I'm like, if it's not practical, we're not doing it. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do find that kind of stuff really interesting because, you know, there's a lot of creativity in coming up with how you're going to make an effect, you know, look and all that kind of stuff. And like my experience with, you know, working on things like green screen, I've done it in the past, and I've really not like been that into it because I just find it really difficult to do well. All
Yeah.
these different things you got to work out. I just think it's so much easier just to, and in the end, it looks better just to make it practical.
Yeah.
I think what helps too is if you have like a powerhouse program like After Effects.
Mhm.
But the biggest thing is like lighting, and green screens, just like any skill, I think takes a lot of practice. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to try out stuff like green screen again because I think it could be pretty cool if you had a good like background. But
yeah, I think you have to put a lot of time into it. A lot of effects seem kind of rushed, like that you see, and like yeah, you have to light it well, and you have to, I don't know, like because there is good green screening. Like I think like Zach Macias did some really good green screening for like some Guardians of the Galaxy collaboration video. I remember thinking that looked really good, and some people can do it really well. And like Jay Silver, that video, The Journey that he made, like I think he might have just masked it all out by hand, but like that video is so well composited, everything. So like you can do it really well. It's just depends on, you got to put the time in, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it comes from like experience and having the right software and that kind of stuff. And if you don't have that, then it's very difficult to do right.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I found like the problem I had was that we a lot of Brickfilms, a lot of Brickfilms do this. Like they make the mistake of if the like the horizon, if that's out of focus and the green screen is in focus, it looks really weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of thing. I think that's one of the things you have to learn to get right is if the background, if the horizon is actually out of focus, you've got to blur the background.
Yeah, I think like I don't know, talking about the Jay Silver video, like The Journey, like that video has like a weird like style where it kind of seems like everything is just always in focus, and like you can kind of tell it's composited, but it's just like so cleanly composited that like, and it just like works. I feel like the look of it, yeah, I don't know, it almost feels like just a cartoon, like a flash animation almost, or more than like a regular stop motion. But
yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things that I noticed with using a webcam, because I use a C920, is that the picture quality is very good, but I'm constantly having to adjust the focus because it's really hard to keep, you know, because it's like, keeping everything in focus is just almost impossible. Really, there's always going to be something out of focus. Whereas like with a lot of like DCLRs and stuff, you can actually get that effect of making everything look clear and in focus. Yeah, that's definitely something you can't really do, particularly with a webcam.
Oh yeah, right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it depends on the lenses you have also, because like I don't know, if you have some lenses can focus, like keep really deep focus, and then other ones are more shallow, and it depends on. I mean, it depends on the settings. You'd have to take the exposure would have to be a lot longer, but yeah, that's kind of technical. Yeah.
Well, it's like the depth of field, right, on the DSLR. But then with the depth of field, like you said, you have to either higher the ISO or just the length of the exposure. But ISO is like only on certain cameras you can do that and get away with it.
Right. Yeah.
So because you know, for you used a QuickCam Pro, didn't you, for quite a few years?
Yeah, for like really long. I think we used it for like 9 years or something. But yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
How did you find the switch from the QuickCam to the DCLR?
Yeah, it was it's like, I don't know. I mean, I think I never really wanted to like buy like a nicer webcam. I was always like, I just want to go straight to the DSLR, and like eventually I had enough money to do that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. But then like once I had the DSLR, I was kind of like, I don't really want to try to just animate blind, or like try using some like little software on the computer that's not Dragon Frame. Basically, I basically was like, okay, I should probably just get Dragon Frame, because Dragon Frame is like, it's a lot like Monkey Jam. It's just, I mean, it's a lot better, but it's like, it has all the same capabilities. So it wasn't that hard of a switch, because I got the software pretty soon after getting the camera, and then it was pretty similar just using that program. And I think like the main thing was just trying to like, well, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff, but like one thing that's funny about it is like with only like 640 by 480, like that's the resolution of the Logitech QuickCam Pro 4000. That one is like it's so low res, I feel like, that you don't have to be as precise with your animations, because like, if you animate something and like it's a little bit off, it doesn't really matter that much, because the camera is so low res, because like the pixels can't even see that little detail or whatever. Sure. So like I think once I started animating with the DSLR, it was a little bit, it wasn't really hard, but like just like I think the animation is a little bit less like smooth.
You had to like adjust a little bit.
Yeah, I don't really feel like I had to adjust, but like I think you can just, it's like it's so high res that like every little bump you can see it, and I actually kind of like that. Like it gives it more like, I don't know, it makes it look cool. Yeah. I don't know.
If there's like a little hair on one of your Lego guys' heads or whatever, like you can see it.
Yeah, every piece of dust and like dead skin and gross stuff like that. It's all on all in the picture.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because like I used to use I don't even know what it was called, because it was this webcam I originally used actually came with the software that I have. I don't think it even had a name. It was just like, yeah, it was made by a company that made the software. And I used that for a year, and then in 2016 I transitioned. I got the C920, and I think that's probably made the biggest difference for me, because I paid much more attention then on making the animation look better and all that kind of stuff. Because I think like that was probably, I think that's probably the biggest difference for me, really, because I managed to notice much more things, like you said, the tiniest little details that you just wouldn't notice beforehand. I mean, even like adjusting the focus, because when you're working with a much lower resolution, it's hard to adjust the focus in a way that it actually is like in focus. It always looks out of focus. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I think sometimes I would just forget to focus it when I was using the old Logitech QuickCam, and like I think I would just be like, oh well, it doesn't really look that different than if it is in focus. But yeah.
Yeah, it's harder to focus with those webcams, because sometimes, like for me, it's like once you use a DSLR, it's like you just can't go back, because you're like, man, the focus looks so weird. It's hard to tell if it's even in focus because the quality is not like that great, So
it was actually pretty funny. It was that actually I actually forgot about it, but the old webcam I used to use, you couldn't actually adjust the focus on your computer. You had to adjust the focus on the webcam itself.
Yeah,
if you were going to adjust the focus, you'd have to move the camera in order to actually adjust it. So I never hardly ever adjusted the focus.
Yeah, that's how the QuickCam Pro 4000 is. It's really weird that they made a webcam like that. Like that webcam was like really good for Lego animation, but it's like, why did they make this? Like, who would use this? Who would just use this as like a regular webcam? It has like a manual focus. I don't know.
And it had the little holes in the side that you could put like Lego pieces in.
Yeah, they fit like perfectly the Lego pieces.
Yeah, I still like the
like Lego fits in so much stuff that it's kind of like they weren't making it for that, but it's like Lego just works with everything, kind of.
Does it fit in a DSLR though?
I mean, I just made actually
a stand for it or a rig?
Yeah, a stand out of Lego for my DSLR.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I kind of want to do that. Yeah. The thing that I do like about webcams is that you can kind of get closer to the Lego stuff, because they're smaller a lot of the times, and you can get right in there. Like the shot in your firing line video, William, like that part is cool because you're right with the people walking right behind them, and I like stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the biggest benefits from using a webcam is just how close you can put the figures, your characters to the actual camera. And I imagine that's a really hard thing to do right with like a DSLR, because it's just such a big.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I didn't really notice at first, but like as I've like compared like the cinematography and like our current stuff with like our older stuff, like our older stuff had a lot more camera movement, and there was kind of a lot more like really close up. Like they weren't like, I couldn't actually get as close, I feel like, but like, or I don't know, it's like there was more like depth, because like I would be like really close to one minifig, and then like there would be like a minifig in the distance, and like it wouldn't just be like a zoomed in picture. It would be like I was actually really close to that guy. And I don't know, it's kind of, I don't know, there was more depth because you're actually right with the minifigs. And I don't know, it was easier to do camera movement because the camera wasn't like super heavy. And I don't know, I don't have a very good tripod. I need to get a better tripod for my DSLR. But
yeah, well, I find that like with a DSLR, I do much more like side to side pans, or like from above to down pans, because it's easier with like the handle on it, but with on the tripod. But like with a webcam, it's like you can do anything you want kind of, and you can make your own rig for like, just literally like straight side to side pans. Because with the DSLR, it's kind of like a circular motion, when you move the handle. But with like an actual, with just like the webcam, you can make a track. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It can like be nice and smooth, and it's easier to do that.
Yeah. Actually, you need like a slider or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, being able to like design dolly tracks and stuff for webcams is actually really easy. And if you can do it well, like with Lego, it can actually work really well. I think the problem, I think it's because you've got like this DCLR. I can imagine it being hard to do like dolly tracks and all that kind of stuff, just general movements.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, do you rely at all on zooming in so that you can get closer to the characters and that kind of stuff?
Do you mean like cropping it afterwards, or like using the optical zoom on the camera?
Optical zoom. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like the look of like optical zooms in, I don't know, in Brickfilms. I remember I always used to watch that guy Go stuff. I forget what his real name is, but yeah, I think he's German.
Stefan Troger, I think.
Yeah. And his stuff is always really cool because he like he would do a lot of like optical zooms and stuff, and like kind of like dolly zooms where he's pulling the camera back and zooming in at the same time. And like I always used to want to do that, and I've done that a lot in the recent stuff, optical zooms. That's one of the cool things about using a DSLR, is because you can do that kind of stuff, which you could never do that in webcams or whatever. But and I also crop it a lot because I always want to try to get like closer if I can. But yeah.
So Raphael, have you got a few questions you'd like to ask?
Yes. My first question was to ask you guys, like, what's your process and like your step-by-step process just to like approach a film?
Step-by-step process. Well, most of our videos are for contests, and I don't know, we basically just like, pretty much all our videos have been for contests. If it's not for a contest, a lot of time we'll just like think about ideas really long and then like not make the video. And we'll get like a pretty good like story outline, but then we'll be like, writing this script is hard and the script isn't that good, or we should rewrite this, but I don't know. And then I don't know, for contests though, it's usually like, well, like a lot of the contests that we enter are really short contests, like Brawl or THAC. So we're like, okay, we gotta like think about this idea, and sometimes we'll like write down little notes in like a notebook, and we'll just like think about it, write down all our ideas, and then we'll be like, well, this idea is like pretty good, and then we'll write a script real fast, and we kind of just like, I don't know, most of our videos are kind of like comedies, so we usually are just kind of like, and then what if they said this, and then it's like, oh, that's funny, and then we just kind of keep going through it, and go straight ahead through the script, and we never really make any changes. We never really do any rewrites on our, I mean, they're for really short contests, but yeah, there's not really time for that. And then we just go ahead.
We do some rewrites sometimes.
Oh yeah,
like the horse's tail, that movie I think changed a lot from what it originally was. We were like,
Yeah.
we need to make it shorter, so we like changed a lot, but then it ended up still being pretty long. But
Yeah. He was originally going to be like trying to like win the race for like a girl or something.
yeah,
He was going to like, I don't know. It was kind of the same like punchline. I think at the end, I think like there was like some other guy who was trying to like be this girl's like boyfriend or whatever. Yeah. And then like, I don't know. It was like at the end, he's like, but see, I won this race for you. And then she's like, I don't care. And then she just goes off with the other guy. But yeah, that was kind of the original idea. But yeah, we cut out a lot of stuff. I think even when we wrote the whole script, like there was a lot more like stuff that we realized, oh, well, we can just cut this out. And I think that's actually good because like a lot of contests, since they're so short, like they kind of really encourage you to like, since the deadlines are so short with Brawl and Thack, they really encourage you to like cut out all the fat and make your scripts pretty lean and to the point and stuff. And yeah, and then once we're done like writing the script, basically we'll just build all the characters.
We'll we'll record all the voices usually.
Yeah, well, we usually try to like or build the characters so we know what they look like, right? And then we record the voices. Yeah. I don't know. We probably interchange those depending on the video, but yeah, we just kind of record all the videos. We don't really like recording voices that much, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes that part can take a while because we're like, we know how we want to say it, but we're like trying to do it right. And then after that, we go and we.
Real quick, I think like Garry does all the animation, so because I used to animate, but I don't anymore. But so while Gary's animating it, like I don't really have anything to do. So if it's like for like a week-long contest, a lot of times I'll just like look for sound effects or build sets we'll need later for other scenes or stuff like that.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So if it's like a week-long contest, basically we try to get animating as fast as possible. Like, you know, once we build the set for like the first thing, we'll be building it together, and then I'll start animating, and then Greg will like be like building the next set, and then like if I'm like, oh, I don't like that set, then I'll like, you know, make some adjustments or something, or we'll work it out, and then I'll start animating the next scene, and we'll just try to keep it moving as fast as possible. And Greg will be looking for sounds, and I don't know, sometimes Greg will have to, you know, go to work and stuff like that, because yeah. But then we are done, and then like we'll start animating or we'll start editing after we've finished like animating everything. And sometimes like we'll be editing it a little bit like while we're animating, because I mean with stop motion, it's not like there's a ton of stuff that you cut out. You kind of plan on using everything. So like we kind of will like be like throwing shots into the timeline as we're animating them, so that we can know like, oh well, that works well, so we don't need to animate anything in between that or anything, just to make sure we don't have any spots that feel awkward while we're animating it or whatever. And then we'll basically just, I don't know, we'll make sure it flows pretty well. We'll cut out anything that's like too long, or that's what we try to do. Sometimes we'll leave in stuff that's too long, but and then we do the sound, and yeah, Greg will have like looked for sounds the whole time, because like we'll just be like, what sounds do we need? We need this sound, and then yeah, I don't know. Greg will usually do like a lot of the sound, trying to find sounds, and then we'll just try to like add them all in, and I'll do like the title design a lot of times, while Greg is like working on doing the actual sound design of the video, or just like, I don't know, making random adjustments. And then
that's cool though, like teamwork.
Yeah, definitely.
It helps a lot with the process.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, I had another question about like their set building on I noticed in a lot of your behind the scenes pictures and things that you like build the set in like different pieces, and then like you can take it apart for like camera angles and things.
Yeah.
We started that for the front. Basically that was just the point of that was just to because we had trenches in that video, so we kind of wanted a set that could get lower, because instead of just filming, you know, like kind of directly or a couple bricks up off like a base plate. So, and I think we just wanted to be able to shoot it from different angles, so we wanted to be able to take it apart and like move it around. So we just built everything in like 8x8 blocks, and I think was there another reason for that, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think building it in 8x8 blocks was just so that like if I ever needed to just like stick the camera like somewhere, then I could just always just pull out the blocks that were getting in my way. and like then I could always get when it wasn't a shot from inside the trench, then I could get like really low angles, because I think like a lot of videos they have like this thing where like the camera is always pointing slightly down, or it's like the camera is a little bit too high and there's like a lot of headroom. So I always try to avoid that. I always want it to look like, you know, a standard like movie shot kind of. I always want it to look kind of like a real movie. And I think low angles can help to do that, because they're with a real camera, you know, you can put it on the floor and it doesn't really matter. But
yeah, because like it's hard with little figures that are like super short.
Right. So you kind of have to always be able to take apart the set, and that's what I don't know. That's what, like, it's easy to do that if you have just like a set that's like a little room. But like for that video, since it was this big thing, we were like, okay, well, let's just take everything apart, and it was kind of a pain, but yeah, it worked.
It's something I've got to really learn to do myself, because I've just finished filming the scene that was set in an apartment, and it's quite a long scene. There's a lot of, you know, different angles and stuff, and having to pull apart the different walls every single time I want to show a different angle was so it's so like annoying, you know. I got to really learn to do that kind of stuff, so you can easily put them apart when you need to, and that kind of stuff. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, usually when we would build like before we started doing the 8x8 thing, when we were building sets, we would build like each wall kind of separate, so you could just put up the ones you need and then just link them together on the corners or whatever.
Yeah. And it's also good because, like, I remember that video Christmas cookies we made, like, we didn't have the set like that easy to like take off of the base plate. And I remember like we were like, oh no, now we got to rotate the set around. And it was like this big pain because like the whole thing was just like attached to the base plate. Like there was like, right now we have like these kind of like soft connections because there's a bunch of like tiles or whatever. So basically we have those, you know, we have those 8x8 blocks in like the behind the scenes videos. And a lot of times those are supported by Duplos. And if you put a Duplo onto a regular like base plate, Lego base plate, and like it's not really that like tight of a connection as it is with regular Legos.
I see.
Well, I should probably also explain, like I don't know, it's pretty hard to explain. If you see pictures of it though, it's like there's like raised little parts. So there's only a few studs that are connecting the actual like blocks of the set to the base plate. Like it's not like
as well as the clutch power isn't really there, is it? Like small, regular Lego is not that,
Basically, we're trying to reduce like the clutch power. So there's only a few raised studs that it's actually connecting to, and instead of like actually 8x8 studs that it's connecting to. And then that way we can, if we need to take the set apart and rotate it, it's a lot easier because we don't have to like rip it all off, and it's not like there's 1,000 studs connected. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, if you see pictures of it, you can probably, it'd make more sense. But
cool.
So was last year you started working on this project, 3 Many Brickfilms 5 Me. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Do you plan to bring it back?
I mean, I would like to, but I don't know. It took a long time to make it, and like I don't know, it'd be cool to make it, but I really don't know. Like I don't know. I have like a lot of, I mean, I could probably make time for it, but it took a long time, and I don't know. I don't really want to say anything about it. I would like to. Sometimes I'm like, I should make a video about that, but
he doesn't want to give any false hope, right?
Yeah, so, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to.
I thought it was cool though. I think it's, I don't know. Yeah, it's cool to make videos talking about other Lego videos. And stuff.
I think if I did it now, I would maybe want to try to make it a little bit more like this podcast. Kind of just, I would want to talk about old videos also, like maybe 2 new videos and an old video. Because I do think like there's, like I talked to you, Raphael, I remember at Bricks by the Bay last year, and I was like, have you seen that video? You know that video Grace? And you hadn't seen it, and I was like, he hasn't seen Grace. So I was like, I need to make a show where I like talk about these classics. I don't know. Yeah.
that's kind of like, I think your project actually was a big inspiration for this. Really talking about showcasing the classic brick films that no one talks about, you know, and that's why I, definitely big inspiration that was.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, so one last question actually before we get into the showcase. So from a technical standpoint, what do you think is the most crucial thing to get right? So you got like your the sound and the sort of visuals, that kind of stuff. What do you think is the most important thing to get right?
Okay.
I feel like sound is important. Like honestly, like even if your video looks really nice, if it's just like completely silent or the sound quality is really bad, I feel like that can really hurt it. And I think even if the visuals aren't super great, like if the sound is pretty good, you can kind of imagine it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people would actually agree with you on that. I think sound probably is the most important part, because I think there's nothing more distracting to me watching a brick film than having poor sound editing, whether not having enough sound effects or having the wrong sound effects, inappropriate sound effects for the kind of thing.
Right.
Like one of the things I always find kind of annoying is that overuse of the walk sound effect, the old like from back in the brickfilms.com days.
Yeah.
And yeah, I find that actually really distracting.
Yeah, or I feel like a lot of videos just feel really like empty because there's not a lot of sounds or stuff like that. But
yeah, and it's weird because like we went to this animation film festival one time, like, and there was like this like crazy like video with all this insane like CGI visuals, and I was like, dang, this is so cool looking, but like the sound was so like off, like it felt so like they had made it all wrong or something. And I was like, what's wrong with this video? Like, I mean, some of it might have been like the presentation, but like, I was like, the video, it was such a weird contrast. And a lot of the videos at the festival were like this, where it's like the visuals look so good, and then the audio is like, whoa, what is this? Like, I don't know. I think because like people are probably because like they're like students, and they're focused on the CGI animation because that's like what you put in your reel, and then like the sound stuff, they're not really that as into that. And then I don't know.
I think it's like, as well, one of the things that's really important is like having ambient like soundtracks, because it's one of those kind of things that when there you don't really notice too much, but when taken away you really notice it's just no sound.
Yeah, definitely.
Like just like wind or something like that, you need that effect to make a film feel complete, don't you? It's really a very important element.
Yeah, I think like without it or with it, it makes you like imagine there's more going on, because Legos are just like little plastic stuff, but like you could kind of imagine there's actually like a world beyond what you're seeing, or stuff like that.
Yeah, there's one of the things that I always think of when I think about sound effects is like when we made that video Jurassic Floor. There's one scene where there's just like Greg I think got just like a water dropping sound effect, and I always am like, whenever I hear that, I'm always like, oh, that man, if that sound wasn't in this scene, the scene would be so much less interesting. I don't know, but
I think we've managed to kind of talk quite a lot of interesting sort of subjects. I think we'll head down to the Brick Film Showcase.
Okay.
So
cool.
My pick is $12 by Rob Weychert. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So it's a 1998 film. And it's about a man who is out of work, and he comes across an ad for a job which he believes is selling is a cereal company, but secretly there is like more than meets the eye. But he's completely unaware of surroundings. He gets in the way of these like secret meetings, and he still is completely like oblivious to the world around him. I think it's definitely just like a concept I find really interesting. Someone who is just so just oblivious and is just so like willing to believe everything he's told. I think it's a really interesting concept, and it was a very inspirational film, especially for like the early years of the brickfilms.com community. There's a lot of people that could probably consider this a favorite of theirs. It's probably my favorite brick film from the pre-2000s. And I imagine you guys have heard of it before.
Yeah,
we watched it back in the day. It was pretty funny. I like it a lot. The video quality is really like compressed, but the music is good, and it sounds pretty good. But yeah, I don't know if it's just the copy that's on the internet, but it's very low res. But
looks almost like it's from like a tape. Like there's like distortion of like a videotape, but yeah, on the sides of it.
Yeah. Actually, interesting. I think it's one of those examples of a film that it manages to like look better, be better simply because of the sound. Like,
definitely.
If the audio quality was the same as the visual quality, it wouldn't age too well, you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This video has like pretty insane, I feel like, cinematography for 1998 Lego videos. I mean, I don't know. There was cool stuff back then, but like 1998 seems like so long ago. And like, I feel like, yeah. Well, yeah, it is really long ago. Wow. Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, watching it again for this, I was just like, wow, this video is really good. And like, I remembered liking it a lot, but like, I think like the mood that like the music creates, and like, I just think like the juxtaposition of like what he's saying versus like what you're seeing is like really funny. So it's like a very, I don't know. I feel like anybody could watch this, like even if they hadn't seen other Lego videos, probably like they would enjoy it. And like, and it's not like super, comedy. It's like, it's kind of dark, but I think it kind of works for anybody anybody. I don't know. Yeah.
So, Raphael, what do you think of this then?
I liked it. I actually like the one of my favorite things is like the camera pans. And like just the camera movement. Like, wasn't like the beginning scene when like he's in his like room or something, like watching the TV. I like that like rotating shot kind of. And then later on, there's a scene where he's in their like main headquarters, and it goes like pans from like one room to the next. And I think it's kind of creative for like a film like being made back then, because all I know is if I was making something back then, it would suck. So like, I think it's just very creative with just his like pacing and just like showing the sets and all that's happening. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, Raphael, what was your pick?
Mine was Stranger Than Fishing by Zach. So yeah, no, that film is one of my favorite Brick films to date. I think like it's such a simple concept, but that's why I like it, because it's able to like make you laugh kind of, and like something so simple and like such a good video, something so simple can like become something just really, really good. And I really like the animation of him trying to bring like the fish in or whatever, and he like brings what was it like the shark, right? The shark guy or something. I really love like that animation. I think what really makes it so good is like it's comedy, but also like his animation is just like so good that I haven't really seen many Brick films that do that. That's pretty much why I chose it, just for the animation kind of.
I just think,
and the storytelling.
It's one of those films that it really works because of like, it's such a simple story, but just done using its like full ability, like using its full potential.
Yeah, but I also think it's because he took so long to make that movie, and I think it really shows like how much work he put into it. Because when you want to make something that good, what it comes down to is really like how much time and like your experience you put in that video. So
yeah, I like the part where he's reeling in the shark also. There's one shot that's like of his legs on the deck as he's like walking, and he's like sliding, his feet are like sliding along the deck. That shot has always like stood out to me as like really, I don't know, just like perfectly timed and I don't know, spaced animation or whatever. Yeah, really good. And I like all the references also. There's like the Citizen of the Year reference with the parrot, and you have like the portal gun and the Halo Master Chief helmet. Danko. You got the Stormtrooper also. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I think the sound design of this video is also pretty good. It's got like the fishing pole, which like you can't actually see like the string or anything, but you imagine the string is there or whatever, just based on the sound and like the lake sound and stuff. And it just has a good like cartoony kind of like classic kind of cartoon style with like the symphony score or whatever. But yeah, it's well done. Yeah.
Right. So, Greg, what was your pick?
So my pick was I pulled it up real quick. Pirate's Quest, which is a 2007 film by Scot Loeppky or something like that. I don't know how you spell it. How do you say it? Uncle Cheese Butt Dog is what I knew him as.
What'd you call him? He said his name is Uncle Cheese Dog.
That is his username.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a video that I think I saw when we first, discovered Brickfilms, and I thought it was really cool back then. It's very very nostalgic for me. But I don't know. I like it. I think it's like just a good like complete little story. It's about basically these two pirates who are looking for treasure with this with the Lego treasure map, and they're both trying to get it there before the other one. And in the end, they have like a little duel. But I really like it. I think it's got like a really like a well done montage, or pretty well done montage in the middle where he's like running through the jungle and he keeps running into like this alligator, and yeah, it just kind of reminds me of, well, never mind, but
what were you gonna say?
It has like I think okay sound as well. It's got like some it's pretty simple sound, but it's got like I don't know. I like it.
Yeah. I like
it's got a good title sequence. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh yeah.
I like that too. There's not like too many. There's some things that I didn't like about it, but the one thing that I really liked was his like you didn't feel like any camera placement was like out of place at all. You felt like every single shot meant something.
It was nicely framed, I think.
Yeah, nicely framed, I guess you'd say. Whereas like I've
know.
noticed a lot of Brick films, they have a lot of shots nowadays that are like, okay, that was like not really useful. You could just skip to the character was in a different place.
Oh yeah.
I guess.
Oh yeah.
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 I like the pace.
Yeah.
I really like the gaps in the music in the montage where it's like it'll kind of like stop for a second and then they'll like say like some funny line. I don't know. I like the way the montage is done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like I don't know. I think this video might have been kind of influential for our videos because like when a lot of our old stuff, and I don't know, a lot of our stuff is like people going to get stuff. And like that's what this video is. It's like you're going on a quest to like go get some treasure or something, and that's like what most of our old videos are. Yeah,
yeah, it's very inspirational. I think.
I think the comedy works really well in this film. I like the line with the map, and it goes, "How did you find the treasure?"
Oh yeah,
all Lego maps are the same.
Yeah. I like the Matrix reference also with the little like bullet time.
Yeah.
You can stop waving your arms about now.
Oh yeah, that's a good part.
Yeah.
I like it because it just feels like a complete movie. It has like a beginning, a middle, and an end, and yeah, it's funny and stuff. So
yeah. So Gary, what did you pick?
I picked Blambo Part 2, and it came out in 2005, and it's by Logan Dwight and Ian Hirschfeld. So basically this video is like a Rambo parody kind of thing, and basically it's about Blambo is on a mission, and there is no part 1. I'm pretty sure it's just a joking title. But it's just like he's on this mission to go save some supermodel or something like that, and I think stop some guy in Russia. It has like I don't know. It kind of
not Russia.
Where is it? Oh yeah,
it's in Super Chindia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It has like it kind of sets up this like weird version of the world in the future at the beginning, and
there's only 2 countries.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 because there's Russia and there's America. And
I love it when they're like, oh yeah, and then there's Russia. Just like all that.
Yeah.
Motherland.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I think like at the time, this was probably kind of inspired by like Team America, but I never actually saw that. So I think at the time I was like, I don't know if I really got like all the political jokes kind of at the time, but now it's pretty funny. And I don't know. I like the fight scenes, and I like the voice acting a lot. Yeah. I like the action, and I like the humor a lot. I think like the voice acting is really just like funny and kind of over the top. He just, I don't know, it's like ridiculous. But and what was I gonna say? I like the action a lot, because the action is like, it's not super like well paced. I feel like it feels a little too slow. I think like if they were actually fighting, they'd probably not be fighting so slow. But like I think it's good because it like has good. I think it has good choreography. Like the people are always kind of like moving in the right spot, and it's like very interesting, especially the part where he's flying through the air and fighting people, and he's like rides a missile, and there's a lot of cool stuff in those parts. But yeah,
it is a really kind of funny parody of, you know, these over the top action movies, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
I was laughing the whole time watching that video.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
He like picks.
It's like blow it up.
Yeah. He like picks up the guy's head and like throws it at the other guy, and it's like knocks off his head.
That part like did not make sense for me though. I was like, wait, how the heck did that just happen? Like, physics.
That's a part that kind of goes into like more like Lego physics than like physics. Yeah.
I like, one thing I like about it is like the garage band music or whatever. And I think that's what that's from. Like I think maybe older videos had that more often.
Yeah.
The garage music that comes with garage band or whatever.
Yeah.
But
it was like the Kevin McLeod of that time. But but it was a little, I don't know. There were less videos, so it probably got less annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think I was looking at the Brickfilms wiki, and there was some interesting stuff about it. They said that Logan Dwight actually got nominated for Best Actor at the Brickfilming Achievement in Motion Picture Arts Awards, and also got nominated for Best Sound Design, which was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's some fun facts, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Sound design is becoming quite a theme of this episode, isn't it?
Yeah. I got to get rid of that echo.
So, yeah, speaking of sound design,
I had no credibility.
Just kidding.
I'll be like, what do you guys know?
You know, it could be a good thing. It's like the reverb when you're singing, you know.
You turn it into a musical.
Oh my gosh. No. That would be the best clickbait ever though. Like podcast turns into a musical. A Disney
podcast musical.
Podcast flash dance. Or what's it called? Flash mob. Podcast flash mob.
I mean, I wouldn't click on that video.
I probably wouldn't either. But so yeah. Did you guys have any thoughts on Blambo other than, I don't know, what we've already said?
I think one thing that was like a negative is the effects, but I mean it's 2005, right? So you kind of just like, okay, that's okay then.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the effects are like, even though they're not that good at all, it's like it's okay because it kind of like lends to like the comedy, you know?
Yeah.
It kind of like lends to the story, you know?
I think it is intentional, partly because it's, you know, it is making fun of the kind of films that, you know, that are like that, you know, with the sort of dated special effects and that kind of thing. I think it is kind of part of the joke, really, isn't it? Of the
yeah.
Like the green screen, like it's always the same picture. Like it never changes angles or anything.
Yeah. I don't know what that picture is. It kind of looks like a Halo like concept art or something like that.
Yeah.
It's funny. Doesn't look like it quite matches the
I actually tried to do green screen. I was gonna use it for my nativity video, and I was like, I did it, and then I realized the background had to be blurred, and so I blurred it in my program, but it looked so bad compared to like the foreground because it doesn't have that gradual blur effect as like reality. So I was just like, no, let's just do natural light. Let's just do natural stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Before we actually kind of wrap this up, is there any kind of anything you'd like to discuss, like a sort of end kind of thought kind of thing?
Well, if you had to watch one of these videos, I would. Okay, when you said you were gonna pick $12, I was like, oh, he's trying to like outdo me or something. That's such a good choice. And then go watch $12 if you can only watch one, because that's probably that's what, in my opinion, that's the one that I would say is the best. But yeah, or watch all of them. But yeah, I don't know. $12 is like crazy because just, I don't know. I feel like in terms of like feeling like a complete little film, like, and just everything feels like perfectly just right. I feel like in that video. So yeah, if you see that, or if you have the time, go see that video.
I mean, if you can only watch one, watch $12, but watch them all anyway.
Watch them all anyway, even if you don't have time. You know what? Skip dinner with the family. Come on.
I mean, it'll only take you like 20 minutes. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not long.
Probably less than that. Yeah.
I wonder if there's a more high quality version of $12 out there somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's
Probably.
like 320p or something.
Well, that's the
Well-
version that's on the BrickFilms wiki. So I'm guessing that's the highest quality version. That Silly Penta knows is aware of, at least.
Right.
Well, I think the thing is, I mean, I think that $12 was originally made available on the internet. I think, was it like 2000 or something, around that kind of time, or maybe 1998 actually.
Yeah, probably.
So obviously back then, uploading files, it would be quite poor quality. I mean, even if you look at the early days of YouTube, I think it's only like about 2009 when you're able to start uploading things in HD. So it is possible there could be a higher quality version out there if you can get into contact with the creator.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. But yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah, $12 remastered. Cool.
Yeah.
20th year anniversary.
Ooh, yeah.
That'd be interesting. I think what would be actually really interesting is to see a couple different brick filmers, like 3 or 4 brick filmers, try to recreate an old brick film and see who comes closest to it. That would be really interesting to see.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know recently Nathan Wells posted something where he said that like one of the scenes from his 30 years, like the story of a minifig, that video, he said that was like inspired by, or there's a shot in there that's inspired by, I guess, another older brick film. I forget what brick film it was. I think it was like something, A Space Odyssey, or something to do with 2001: A Space Odyssey. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I thought. Yeah, I hadn't thought of like brick filming homages before that much, but yeah. Although actually, I did see there was this one video that was like Spastic Chihuahua made some video for like the School of Life that was about Donald Trump, and then this other guy made this video that was like based on some Alexander Hamilton video by that guy Jack's Films, and then like there's a shot in there that's like identical to the Spastic Chihuahua video.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and I was like, is that just like a reference? I don't know, but yeah, I forget who made the Hamilton video, but yeah.
Who's Donald Trump?
This
He's
guy.
like a TV personality guy.
Yeah. All right.
In the museum I work at, they sell rubber ducks, and one of them is a Donald Trump duck.
Yeah.
Does it have like has like the hat, the red hat, or?
No, he's that pose he does with his fingers. Yeah, he does that.
Is it like a peace sign or what? I don't know what it is.
I don't know. It's hard to explain, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up this episode. It's been great having you guys here.
Awesome.
So, where can they find you guys?
You can find me at youtube.com/TwickABrick, and also on Twitter is like the main place that I kind of am active, I guess. Garry Moore 234 is my Twitter handle, and then what? Oh yeah, well I have this other Twitter account where I just post cool frames from Lego videos that aren't by me, and that's called @BrickLens on Twitter.
It's really
But,
cool, guys. Check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. And then Greg, what do you?
Oh, I don't have anything. I'm just on TwickABrick. Yeah. No other social media really.
Okay, that's okay. You're living real life.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you guys? Where can we find you guys?
Me, Blacksmith Films. That's it. Just type that in YouTube, and hopefully something comes up with my videos. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I have social media accounts, but there's links from my YouTube channel.
And as for me, I'm most things I'm IW Studios. I'm active mostly on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, I'm also on Facebook, but yeah, also on YouTube, obviously.
Yeah.
Our next episode will hopefully be again in another 2 weeks or so. So,
All right.
thanks.
Cool.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Bye.
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 See
Keep
ya.
brick filming, everyone.
Yes.